A top story on ABC News Breakfast, the US President Barack Obama will not be visiting Australia next week. The White House says the trip is now being planned for sometime in June.
Mr Obama postponed his trip to Australia and Indonesia to focus on getting his health insurance reform bill through Congress. US Press Secretary Robert Gibbs made the announcement a short time ago.
Since the House rules rightly provide for a 72-hour public review period, it is clear that a final vote on health insurance reform cannot take place before Sunday afternoon. As a result, the President telephoned the leader of Indonesia and will call the leader of Australia later this afternoon and told them that he must postpone his planned visits for a later date so that he can remain in Washington for this critical vote. The President now expects to visit Indonesia in June.
The US Press Secretary Robert Gibbs speaking there a short time ago. For more, Lisa Millar joins us now from Washington. Lisa, on again, off again, on again, off again. It's getting ridiculous.
Well, Joe, I can tell you how close to the wire they went with this decision because I had literally just finished an interview with the Assistant Secretary of State, Kurt Campbell, for one of our sister programs, and he was due to travel with the President on Sunday, leaving here on Sunday, and we completed the entire interview with him believing that he would be getting on that plane on Sunday. So not even the State Department were aware until basically Robert Gibbs came out and announced that the trip was off. Well, off for the moment anyway, until June.
Now, what stage is the healthcare debate at? Why has it come down to this?
Look, the reason why the trip was delayed was that the President was hoping that there would be a vote in the House by Thursday, today, or Friday. He was originally scheduled to fly out today, so the trip was delayed 3 days, hoping that that vote would happen and he could get on the plane victorious, having got the votes, having seen this major reform that we've talked about, nothing else it seems, over the last 12 months, and that he would have seen it through Congress. But then it appeared that it was going to stretch out a little bit because he hadn't won those 216 Democrat votes that he absolutely needed to get them across the line. So this week he's been basically on the phone trying to talk them all round. In fact, there's been suggestions that he's been making promises that he would campaign for members or even on the other side of things that if they didn't vote there would be some kind of retribution, that he wouldn't campaign for them. Now, in all the White House briefings, Robert Gibbs was asked about that and he played it all very low key and denied that inducements had been offered to try and get these votes. But you can imagine, Joe, the scene over here in DC has been absolutely frenetic. So where the vote is, now we're being told, once they're all done with church on Sunday morning here in DC, that they'll gather on Capitol Hill and that the vote will go through the House, and that I was speaking to a senior advisor for a congressman just a couple of hours ago, and he said that they feel very confident that they will have those 216 votes, but it will be very, very close.
So Barack Obama has made this issue one of the marks of his presidency. It needs to get through for this presidency, for Barack Obama to be seen as a success. Is it so watered down, though, now that it's not really half the bill it was initially?
Well, it depends who you're talking to. I mean, at the end of the day, this is going to, if it does get through as it stands, is going to bring in some pretty fundamental changes to the way healthcare is dealt with in this country. That the aim was to get those 30, 40 million Americans who weren't covered by any healthcare to actually have healthcare insurance. That will still happen. One of the things that Barack Obama really wanted was this public option, a bit like Medicare in Australia. That is not going to happen, but the Democrats still feel that it is enough of a bill worth fighting for. Joe, you're absolutely right when you say that his presidency has, relies on this. I mean, there has been suggestions that in those conversations with Democrats, he's actually been saying the fate of my presidency depends on your vote. Don't let me down. It truly is a critical moment in the history of the Barack Obama presidency, and here we are just at the end of the first 12 months.
So it looks like it will get through, and Australia will just have to wait a little longer. Lisa Millar in Washington, thanks very much for that.
Thanks, Joe.